What's up guys, I'm Sean. Today I'm going to be installing this BillieBars bed rack on my 3rd gen Toyota Tacoma. BillieBars has an option of a 5-inch bracket or an 8-inch bracket. I went with the 8-inch bracket for a little bit more height. The installation should be fairly straightforward if you're not running a tonneau cover. You basically slide this through the existing bed rails and then you tighten it down. But my installation is going to be a little bit more tricky because I'm going to make it work with my Lomax Tri-Fold. The BillieBar brackets sit between the truck and the tonneau cover rails, so I'm going to have to remove the tonneau cover rails first and then figure out where I'm going to put this, and I'm going to have to trim the rail a little bit to get it to work out. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove my Lomax cover. Before I remove the Lomax tonneau cover rail, I have to decide where I'm going to put the BillieBars bracket, and I want to put this as close to the front as possible. But this is where the Lomax bolts up to, so it has to go in front, but it's not enough space, so it's going to go right here. So if it's going to go here, I got to make sure it doesn't interfere with that Lomax bracket right there. So this is as close to the front as this can go. Put some tape here to mark it out. Now for the second one, I want to make sure it doesn't interfere with the Lomax bracket right there, or with the Lomax little hook for the tonneau cover. So I'm going to figure out where it's going to go, put some tape on it to lock it up. I just temporarily installed the Lomax tonneau cover to double check if there's going to be any clearance issues underneath. So if I cut right here and put the front bracket, it looks like it'll be okay. Now for the rear bracket, I want to put it back here, but it can't interfere with this. And good thing I mocked it up, because if you look at this on the Lomax cover, there's this bar right here, so it'll bang into that. So I can't really put it close to this. I'm gonna have to put it maybe more forward, so then this thing can go down. That's why you want to reinstall the tonneau cover temporarily to make sure that there's not going to be any clearance issues. So this part is already marked up from the usage, so that means I could probably only go to about right here, so then it'll still go down flat. And the reason why I don't want to put it back here is I have a game plan that when the BillieBars are installed, I want to at least flip up the first part of my tonneau cover. Alright, I mocked up this side, measured it, and mocked up this side and measured it to make sure that both sides are even. So now it's time to remove the Lomax tonneau cover rail. Looking at the Lomax rail, looks like I'm gonna have to trim this piece. So I have my cutting wheel, eye and ear protection. This Harbor Freight cutting tool that I had for probably about 20 years finally smoked up and died on me. Definitely got my money's worth though. I have a smaller cutting wheel I'm going to try to use now since the other one broke. There's a lot of trial and error cutting up the rails, but I finally got the right cut. So on the inner wall of the rail, you want to cut off about 5 3/4 inches. The BillieBars bracket is 5 1/2, but it's a really tight fit, so I just cut off 5 3/4. And then on the top side of the rail, you want to cut off about 3/4 inch. Then everything fits flush on the BillieBar brackets. This is aluminum, so it won't rust, but I'm gonna spray paint it just to make it look a little bit cleaner. Now I have to do the cuts on the other side. Oh, by the way, my small cutting wheel is pretty garbage, so I have to use my jigsaw. The jigsaw cuts like butter, which is nice. Installing the BillieBars bracket is pretty easy. Comes with that hardware. Slide it through the carriage bolt through that washer. Slide this through the OEM T-rail slots. And then you have the washer and the nut. Saw the washer and lock nut onto the bolt. I want to measure the bracket, make sure it's all lined up, even on both sides. Then I'm going to tighten it down. I temporarily removed my side MOLLE panels so I can install the BillieBars bracket. So now that that's tightened down, I reinstalled the MOLLE panels so it sits on top of it. It gives it a little bit extra support. So everything's tightened down. Now it's time to install the Lomax tonneau cover rail. So now it's lined it all up. The Lomax rail has been reinstalled, the bracket bolted right up, and it sits flush like it used to. So the area where I cut, you could add some weather stripping in between, or even some gasket maker. This is a bad cut because that was my first cut, but the other ones are a little bit more clean. See right there. So later on I'm going to add some gasket maker or some weather stripping. Here's the driver's side. Again, to close that gap, I'm going to add some weather stripping or some gasket maker, but it sits nice and flush. So now let's do a test fit. Yeah. All right, it slid right in. That goes back to the right spot. Everything clears. There it is. See, the Lomax cover has its own weather stripping, so I probably don't even have to fill that gap, but I will just for extra precaution. Here it is right here in this front section. See the seal from the Lomax? It's already there, but I'll put a little bit more just in case. But I got it to work with the Lomax. Alright, all there's left to do is to drop the bars between the brackets and install the side bolts with the special security Allen key. Alright guys, that's a wrap. The BillieBars have been installed with the Lomax Tri-Fold tonneau cover. If I had a rolling type tonneau cover or the one that's retractable, then the install would have been a lot easier. But I already had the Lomax Tri-Fold cover for about 2 years now. I didn't want to spend another $1,000 or $1,200 buying a new tonneau cover. So I got the BillieBars to work with my Lomax. Took some trimming, but pretty straightforward. It just took a lot of time. So now it's installed. The weather seal is still there. It's probably about 95% good. Mainly it's good for security, but also for rain. And the BillieBars come with a security bolt and key, so it's going to be a little bit harder for someone to steal off the streets. Now if I wanted to use my truck as a truck, It'll just take me about 5 minutes to remove these bolts and then pull this bar off. And then I can remove my tonneau cover, and then my truck can be used as a truck. I can leave these brackets on, so these brackets don't go anywhere. Just the bars can go on and off really quick. Now the way I have it set up is that if I still want to get into my bed, I still have about a third access. That's why I installed the BillieBars bracket right here. If I installed it back here, then I wouldn't be able to open up my tonneau cover. So by installing it on the first section and on the second section, I can still open up my tonneau cover 1/3 and get to this area, because this is the area I usually use. But if I really wanted to use a full bed, remove the bars and everything's good to go. So the BillieBars does work with the Lomax Tri-Fold cover. You just have to do some custom cutting to make it all fit. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.